My name is John Purcell. So how do you focus on being a Christian artist in a broken world? You can find more content on this topic as you follow the creation of the comic book My Walk at 3otters.blogspot.com. It's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe buttons below. Music provided by bensound.com. Alrighty, this is the third video of reaction to some of my old stuff. So if you're just seeing this for the first time, my videos, this little series is a reaction series to older videos that I did. So it's just a way for me to kind of discover where I was at and kind of analyze it and then look at where I'm at now. The first two, there's some pretty interesting things that I noticed in them about myself and about growth. And here's the third one. This one is from 2011. And the first two were from 2009 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This one is recorded in Libby, Montana in 2011. Let's see where I was at then. A cheesy video. Lettering. The music, this is from my friend Brian Noble. He did all of the guitar and drums and everything. Still selling my ideas and not finished products. Letters from Libby is a project I really want to start working on, but I should finish my first comic first, Schism. But Letters from Libby, I don't know what direction I really want to go with the story, but I want to start doing a lot of research and maybe interview a few people in town that have been through some of this stuff and kind of document all the things that are going on in Libby, Montana, as far as the asbestos problem, the Sarco mine that with the zone light, and all of that stuff, that the products that came out of that mountain and how it's affected the community. And I want to write our story and have it, you know, as accurate and true as I can, as far as being honest and being, as far as, you know, just having something down that will stand the test of time and something that will, people can look at later on and know what happened here. That's my dad's shop that I grew up in. Inside my dad's shop, just documenting a lot of places where there's zone light, asbestos fibers that are in the shop. Just kind of looking around, seeing on the property where all the asbestos is at. Quite a bit of insulation in this shop, all through the whole thing. This is a 2-truck shop. Fit 2 logging trucks in here. This is out in our backyard. My grandma used to have a pretty good sized garden right in this spot. They used a lot of zone light to fertilize in the soil. And then right over here we've got our asbestos pile, where my dad used to burn shrubs and wood and junk from the yard when he did yard work. There's a lot of asbestos in there also. right there, hosing it down. And I noticed there too, a lot of times in Libby, I might even mention it in this video. I probably shouldn't talk until it's done. But a lot of times when they put up these netted fences that were orange, you would have one guy on one side of the fence working for the EPA with his mask on, and he's cleaning up this area. And then there'd be another worker on the other side with no mask because he was on the outside of the fence. So, but this stuff's airborne, and it's just kind of not comical, but it's kind of weird. But anyways, I'll let this play. That was at the neighbor's house, right next door. They were cleaning it up. They did this all over Libby. EPA had a super fund, and that's all I talked about on the subject. But yeah, it was all over Libby. They tore up every single home, yard, did a deep clean on everything, trying to get the asbestos up. But it's weird to look at that again, because I haven't thought about it in a while. And it seems like for a time in my life, that whole thing consumed me with anger and bitterness and this betrayal and people suffering. It was really hard, and I had a whole idea for a comic book called Letters from Libby. And it was based on the idea. I was living in Denver, Colorado, going to art school, when the news broke about Libby, Montana being infected with this. Excuse me. And my mom would send me letters about what's going on in Libby. Everybody's dying. They're finding all this stuff out. And so, in a way, and I never thought about this till I was watching this, me going to art school, I have a lot of negative feelings about myself with art school, how I could have applied myself better. I got into a bad relationship through the whole school, and it kind of wrecked what I was doing for a while, but I did finish art school eventually. I took a 2-year program and I turned it into, I think, 3 or 4 years, but I did complete it. The portfolio was weak, and I always left it feeling like I just couldn't focus and I couldn't apply myself. And now that I look back on this footage, I think this stuff in my hometown consumed me with some bitterness and some, my focus was on it and the newspaper articles and the documentaries coming out and all of that stuff instead of my art, my goals. So it's interesting to look back on that. And I think I was planning a big graphic novel about it that I never finished. But yeah, maybe I was too hard on myself about art school and being a failure when I was just so distracted by everything. And another thing that I just thought of with this whole thing, probably why I've forgotten about it and have moved on, is as devastating as this was and as hard as it was to deal with, the world got a lot weirder lately. And so we're living in a world now where I feel like they're throwing so many different things at us that we don't know what's real and what's fake, what's the devil's really distracting us in every direction to where we lose our focus, just like I did back in 1992, I lost my focus on art school because of this one thing, plus a relationship I got into. So two things distracted me off of my path. I don't know how the kids today can do anything with all this distraction going on. The devil's really working hard right now. But I'm going to move forward on this video. Looks like it's launching into my Schism Generations. And I'll mention real quick, I'm sure I'm going to talk about it here. But this is a project that I always, from the early 90s on until 2011, when I was working on it still, I felt like this was the story that was going to make me famous, and I was going to have movie deals and people want to do this story, and I was going to draw up this comic book, and it was so full of demonic stuff. I thought everything I thought was cool about a comic book that you had to have in a book to make it work, I feel completely opposite about it now. As you can tell in the logo right here, I've even got the moon and the cross and all these weird symbols. I mean, I had, as some of the main characters, the three deities, the god figures in my story were God the Father, then I had the goddess, the female god, and then I also had Saint Lucifer, and he was equal with the other two gods, and they were all vying for humans and souls and nature. And it was like, Father God was completely good, like so far good that sometimes it wrecked things because he got too focused on like what some people think of as God, when they don't know him, as judgmental and the judge and wrath and angry. And it kind of portrayed him that way. And then Saint Lucifer was more on the evil side of things, but equal to God. He was a god too and created everything. And then the goddess was neutral and earthy and nature-based. And I'm so glad that I never finished this. It had great potential. I had some great storytelling in it, and I thought it was some great characters. But everything that I thought at that time was cool about comics, what made a good comic, was in it. And it had drugs, abuse, violence, rape, everything you could think of. It was just horrible now that I look back on it. And I'm so content with the story, my walk, that I feel the Lord has been giving me and dropping on me to do. So I'm going to stop talking and let this play. Some of the projects I've been working on with Schism Generations, I'm kind of happy about that. I'm finally digging into that project and getting chapter 5. The issue 5 is almost completely storyboarded, and I've got 3 or 4 more pages as I'm recording this to storyboard. I'll do that tonight, and then all I have left to do is chapter 6, 32 pages of storyboards, and then I'm completely done with the book as far as rewriting it, getting the plot really tight, the characters developed, getting it into a better format to where it's 6 issues instead of 16, and it was really muddy and murky. And so that's coming along really nice. I'm almost finished with chapter 5. Once I get it all storyboarded, I'm going to draw it up, scan it in, put it into my Comic Deluxe program, and just start putting the words in, get it all finished up. And once again, I'm heavily promoting and selling ideas, not finished products. I'm just always talking big about the ideas. lately I've been archiving a lot of photography. So I've got a box full of photographs that
I'm gonna pause it here because
I've had since from the 80s through the 90s when I had a 35 millimeter camera, and so I've got a lot of photography that I had developed. I have the negatives and all of that it's not digital, so I need to scan it and put it in the computer. I've done a lot through the years, but I have a lot more photos that I need to take care of and get them into my computer. I've been all about archiving lately, making sure I'm getting everything on my computer that I can. I've got a new laptop that's really nice, and it has the room and the memory and the speed that my other computers haven't had in the past. So I'm trying to get all the websites I built archived, all of the photography, the artwork,
I was so
everything that
scattered.
I've ever created. I'm trying to get it all in one package and put it on my computer. And eventually I want to build a website for Three Otters Enterprises. And once I get everything archived and I get some of the comic books done, build a website and just archive everything on the website and put it online so that all of my work is available. And
I'm gonna stop it there because I have a feeling the last section of this video is photography. And what I'm trying to do with my branding of my book and my stuff that I'm doing now, all my art, is I am trying really hard to just, live the Christian life, to show it in my art. And with this photography, that who I used to be, there's a lot of nude photography in there. There's a lot of like who I used to be. So I am going to spare us all that stuff. But yeah, that's not who I am anymore, what I'm interested in at all. The Lord has really changed and shaped my heart, and for the better. I'm not there yet, but he's working on me. So yeah, that's the video up until the photography stuff. It's interesting to go back and look at this stuff and see where I was and where I'm at. And boy, for decades, I was so into really pushing the ideas and selling ideas and never finishing anything, just enjoying the daydream and never having a finished product. And I think that's what I'm really striving for now, is with my comic book series. I just want to finish it. I want to get it into people's hands. Thanks for watching.